Hello, everybody. It's Tom Stoukas coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario on August 26th, Tuesday, August 26th. Just about time for the summer to end and school to start. And the weather's changing already. It's like cold today in Sarnia. Like, like fall almost. So maybe we'll have an early fall. And I'm starting to feel like I had a headache today, so it's like getting sick already, like the fall weather sickness or whatever. But that's the way it goes. So let's gonna look at what the day today was. Nothing much happening today, just the same shit, different day. I'm sure things will heat up when the summer's over. Usually, right now, people are like just going to the cottage or enjoying the last weekend of the summer, and then they'll get back at screwing up the whole world like usual. So, just gonna go down the list here. All the good news here. The day that was. Alright. First post. Yeah. So this is funny. In England, they're having the same problems as in Canada. Whereas, the trader government is flooding the country with third world migrants, and causing all sorts of problems with the social cohesion in the UK. I think they're way ahead of us in the breakdown. Just because UK is close to all those third world centers. They're closer to India. They're closer to Africa. Closer to Middle East. So they get a lot of. And London's a big transit point for all those places. So they get a lot of immigrants coming to UK and through their channel, the English Channel, on the boats illegally. So anyway, people are starting to put the old England flag up all over, just to kind of like, as they're protesting the government, flooding the country with foreigners. And what is it? It's like the cross of St. George or something. It's kind of like before the Union Jack. Like, it's like their really old flag of England. And these people are kind of like, I see people like this in Canada too. So people hung up the flag, and these chicks are trying to take it down because they think it represents like this far right extremist thing. Just like when during the convoy here in Canada, they were saying they're ashamed of the Canadian flag because it's been used in the convoy. Same idea. Look at these commies. So, yeah. And it says, this is why England is dying. Too many people have been brainwashed into hating their own country for all the wrong reasons. White liberal women are the worst. And that kind of relates here to Canada and southwestern Ontario here. A lot of people hate their country, or they've been brainwashed into hating the country. And I think that they're the biggest threat to the country, not the immigrants. The immigrants are just coming here because we're letting them, and they're coming to, why wouldn't they come? It's the rational thing for them. We're the guys that are letting it happen. I mean, people like this are the ones letting it happen. That's who really is to blame. And until that, we vote differently. Like, these people start voting for the uniparty, globalist parties that we have, then nothing's going to get fixed. All right. So England, it's looking like it's a really big, pressure cooker building up there in England. We'll see what happens. Just some of the stuff they're doing to their people is crazy. Next, Ukraine. Our prime minister is in Europe. He was just in Ukraine, offering them more money, possible troops, and they even load parliament in the Ukrainian colors. But I saw Carney on TV today, and I couldn't see the video here, but I'm trying to find the video here. But he's basically saying, he's in Europe preparing for war with Russia. You know, like they're just talking about spending tons of money on arms, weapons, and going after Russia, economic sanctions against Russia, putting security guarantees for Ukraine, which is kind of a euphemism for troops, which, you know, people don't want. Even Trump, to his credit, doesn't want foreign troops in Ukraine. So that's what Carney's doing over there in Europe. He's planning war with Russia with them, and apparently a lot of Canadians are cool with it, which, according to polls, which it's ridiculous, you know. I don't think they are, but they just go with the flow, like this Russia hysteria. I don't think we should be enemies with Russia at all. It's ridiculous. Like, we're both majority white Christian countries, northern hemisphere, Arctic weather. We both love hockey. I'm talking Russians and Canadians. There's no reason for them to be enemies. This is ridiculous. Next, another Sarnia story. It's like the only Sarnia stories we have are either truckers crashing on the 402 or they get caught with a bunch of dope on the Blue Water Bridge. So this one is, oh shoot. Trucker accused of smuggling cocaine via Blue Water Bridge, yes. Another truck driver, the fifth so far this year, has been arrested at the Canadian side of the Blue Water Bridge and accused of smuggling millions of dollars worth of drugs across the Michigan-Sarnia border. Fifth one so far this year. And that's just the one that got caught. So who knows how many got through. Abdikadir Egal from Regina was arrested August 14th at the twin-span bridge linking Port Huron, Michigan and Point Edward. How much coke did this guy have? So no, they're not releasing information. So it doesn't say how much coke he had, but they're probably trying to get him to rat. That's why they're not releasing all this info. But yeah, Indian truck drivers are famous for either crashing and killing people or smuggling cocaine over the Canadian-U.S. border. It seems. I mean, that's the impression I'm getting. Next, there's Doug Ford. He was in London yesterday doing a bunch of some appearances, but also he did a golf tournament fundraiser. Look at him, this fat guy. I got this Somali guy. He's sitting there on the golf course. He's in the suit. It's funny. Look at this fat gut of his. Like, seriously, Doug. You need to take care of that man. It's bad for your health, big fat gut. He's living high on the hog. $750 person fundraiser. So yeah, he's basically campaigning for Pierre Poilievre's job. And I've heard people say, like people that aren't conservative say, oh, I'd rather have Doug Ford than Pierre. So like, it's happening. But, you know, I think he's destroyed Ontario. So the fact that he even has a chance to get the federal leadership of the Conservative Party is making me lose a lot of faith in Canada. When we keep electing Liberals, we keep electing Ford. It's just like, I don't think voting's working anymore. Next post. This is an older video, But it's like, what is it with the texting and the truckers? Like, what the hell, man? Like, that's like the last thing they should be doing. Look at that. Boom. This is an older video, but it's the point is that they'd love to text and drive. It's crazy. And put their feet on the dashboard. Texting, right? Like, why would he do that? And he's literally texting on the highway in a big 18-wheeler going full speed. He looks up and boom. That's murder, man. All right, next post. See, we're talking about England here. This is we talked about this the other day. This girl, a 14-year-old girl in Scotland, charged with possession of a knife after viral footage showed her and another minor being approached and filmed by at least one foreign man. So, I don't know what's going on with this. I think the cops aren't going to charge her. I don't know. They'd be crazy to charge her because if they want a civil war, they'll charge her. So basically, in Scotland, they have problem, just like all over the UK, these millions of guys coming in, single guys. They put them up in these hotels in these English and Scottish towns, and they're just roaming around the city. And look, these girls felt threatened, and they must have felt threatened on a regular basis because they brought knives with them. At some point, they planned bringing knives. So let's see what they're saying here. We saw this the other day, but I might as well see it again.
She's fucking 12 and you just battered me, mate! Like fucking battered me!
Yeah, show the knife.
What
Maratha.
you're doing to me, don't talk to me!
So anyway, the thing that, obviously the biggest thing is, it's pretty bad that we're at that point where a 14-year-old girl has to carry around a little meat cleaver and a knife to ward off these crazy pervy guys. Like, what the hell is he doing recording her? Like, why are they even interacting? I as a guy, I wouldn't interact with a 14-year-old in the park unless they were my daughter. Let alone tape her. And so it's creepy. And it seems like they're reaching a boiling point there. So I don't know what's going on. I don't think they're going to charge her. They'll probably if anything, they should charge the other guy. So we'll see. But if they want if they want a war, if they want a revolution, let's keep it up, UK. I don't know what's the deal there. They really want to destroy the UK. What's left of the UK. The empire's gone. Now they want to destroy the rest of it. All right. Next. This is funny. Pierre's getting manhandled in his comments. Like, totally manhandled. And it's not from Trudeau liberals. It's from, like, people who more conservative than Pierre. So first he puts this post about crime. So he says, more chaos after 10 years of Liberal catch and release laws. A business owner in Surrey was shot at and threatened to pay $50,000 when he refused. The criminals stole $20,000 worth of materials right from his place of work. We must put an end to extortion in our country. Throw the book at extortionists with strict mandatory minimum sentences and bring jail, not bail, for repeat violent criminals. So he keeps saying this about bail, not jail, and this and that. And people are past that. Like, they don't care about sending these guys to jail because they want to just deport them. Like, there's like Indian drug gangs and just all sorts of criminal elements. And, like, we have homegrown criminals too, but why import more? That's, So, instead of, most people are at the point where they're like, screw bail, we just screw jail, deport, like, let's go straight to that. But he's getting pilloried in the comments, in his comments. And it doesn't, portend well for a leader who wants to win the next election, where he's getting just slaughtered in his own comment section. So I said to him, "How about stop turning Canada into India and start deporting all these guys?" And like, he won't mention the fact that all these extortion gangs are Indian, and all these crimes are like third world, import the third world, become the third world type nature. So, Daniel Terry, gunfire and extortion in Surrey, that doesn't sound very Canadian. Yeah. Ferryman, address the racial component of these crimes or shut the fuck up, old man. And then Ace of Spades, you brought the criminal into Canada on a free flight from Amritsar. He crossed the border from Pakistan to Punjab, jumped on a plane free of charge. Suk Dhaliwal had citizenship papers waiting. So he's getting just like basically called out for saying, you're not mentioning the elephant in the room. It's all this migration, bringing in the worst of the worst. And they're causing all sorts of problems in Canada, and we're supposed to like put them in jail instead of, and really they don't even go to jail. Like, doing hard time in Canada is very hard. Like, you have to do something, you have to be very bad to get some hard time, unlike the States where they put you in for 20 years for jaywalking. Okay. So yeah, Pierre getting just totally pilloried because he doesn't get it, like, it's not about building more homes or bail, not jail. No, jail, not bail. It's not about that anymore. It's stop the flow, stop the replacement, and start deporting. And the first ones that should be deported are these guys that are getting busted. If they're here on like a visa and they get they should be gone. So, Ferryman, so once again, the conservative, he's talking about Pierre Poilievre, can only address the symptom, not the source. We know exactly which group of people is engaging in these kinds of crimes in Surrey, but addressing where these crimes are coming from would require this coward to be racist. So instead, he blames the Liberals for being soft on crime. Yes, it's true, and he's getting killed in the comments for that reason. There's this girl again. She's becoming a little famous. She's like, they're calling her like the Queen of Scotland or something. What are they calling her? Dismissing little girls like this is how the rape gangs happen. I don't care about your stupid... Here, she's one of ours and we're on her side. Yeah. People... obviously it's not a good thing that the girls have to carry knives around, but maybe instead of blaming the girls and criticizing the girls, they should get rid of the rapists on the street. Okay, there's Diminishing Society. Hopefully we get more members there to get there. Hopefully they, because I think they can do put some pressure on these traitor politicians of ours. There's England. So there will be a million more now. He's talking about flags. So this is the flag going around England. They're just putting it everywhere. It's kind of like the flag from V for Vendetta. Yeah. It's the same flag, yeah. But it's cool. I like that flag. It's beautiful. You should be proud of your flag. All right, next. Asylum claims by Indians in Canada by year. So India is not at war, and there's not like any major conflicts going on in India. It's just a shithole. Like, that's the asylum claim. India's a shithole. I can't live there. So look how it's gone up. So in 2015, it was 268. And now in 2025, it's gone up more and more to 5,400 in 2025 in just the first 6 months. So we're on pace for 10,000 from 268 10 years ago to 10,000 this year. That's crazy. And there's 41,000 Indians, almost 42,000 currently in the process, asylum claim process. And I guess there's like hundreds of thousands of refugee claims, not just Indians, but the Indian thing's gonna grow because they're gonna try and the ones that are gonna try and use that as a way to get in. I don't know how successful it'll be, but definitely got to close that one. Like, but a lot of these guys they'll have their student visas expiring and they don't want to go, so they claim asylum, make up some sob story. Next, this is a pretty bad graph. Like, we saw the one with the Indian refugees, how it's just like basically shot up over the last 10 years. Now we got the opposite direction. Percentage of Canadians married and own a home by 30 years old in Canada. So you saw in 1960, it was very high, almost 60%, and steadily declining. Really hitting it now. We're at 15%. So that's crazy. Basically, you're going to be a landless peasant the way it's going. Because the homes aren't getting any cheaper. They're building tons of them, too. I don't care. I don't want to hear anybody say, we're not building enough homes. They're building tons, but they're not, most people can't afford them. Obviously, 15% home ownership. That's horrible for the 30 years old and under crowd. Next. This is a drug bust in Surrey, British Columbia. Nafal Mahar faces multiple drug charges after being found in possession of whatever, all this stuff. And you see these busts all the time. Indian drug gangs or foreign gangs. They're taking advantage of Canada because corruption, lenient judicial system, open border. And it's like he faces multiple drug charges. And this is what bugs me is the judicial system in Canada is so backed up because they have to deal with not only our fuck-ups, like the homegrown criminals here, but we have to deal with all these millions of ones we imported. And they get in the system. They just runs for years on a charge. So they're out on bail, doing more crime. And then by the time their stuff comes up, by the time their stuff comes up in court, it's either like months or years later, it's either reduced or thrown out or time served. Okay? So it's such a backed up system. It takes years just to get one charge through. And they know it. They know it's screwed. You talk to any court worker in Ontario, they'll tell you the same thing. So instead of charging them, we should be deporting them. Anybody who's not a citizen, so permanent resident and below, gets caught doing something, whether it's sexual assault or running dope, whether it's smuggling it on a truck or making it in a lab in BC somewhere, should be automatic deportation. I don't know why it isn't. I used to work in Korea, South Korea, as an English teacher. And the odd time an English teacher would get caught with a doobie, and he'd make the South Korean news. And he'd get a perp walk, and then he'd be deported. He or she would be deported right away. Gone. See ya. Like, basically never come back to Korea. Like, it'd be a miracle for them to be allowed back into the country. And that's just for a doobie. So, yet we're letting these fentanyl dealers go through our court system instead of putting them on a plane. That's what's got to happen, because that will relieve the court system and free up the country from some of these scumbags. The court system ain't going to fix it. It's not going to fix it. Okay. It's not complicated. Okay. Next. We saw this the other day. These Indians helping themselves at the LCBO. And I was just thinking, too, it's like there was nobody there. There was nobody there to stop them, or nobody did stop them. But let's say there was a couple guys there, good old Canadian boys, who wanted to obviously stop the LCBO from getting robbed, because it hurts everybody. If not that, I don't really drink, but the point is if stores are getting robbed like this, they're going to close eventually. So even if two guys were there and said, let's crack some skulls here, like, these guys deserve it, and it's a good, we're helping the community, but they would, the guys, let's say there was a couple Canadians there, and they stepped up and they stopped these guys, but they had to crack some skulls to do it. The cops would come and charge them. The Good Samaritans. That's the kind of country we live in. It's like we're discouraged from stopping this. So it's just like that guy in Lindsay got in trouble for teaching the home invader a lesson. If someone tried to intervene and beat the shit out of these guys, the cops would come and charge him. I guarantee it. And that's how you know you're screwed. Or Sankofa Square. I said, fuck Sankofa Square. St. Africa. Dundas is the real name. I'll never accept it. Okay. And here's the article on the Scottish girl who had the knives. I still don't know if she's getting charged or not. I don't think she will be. Okay. And this is a horrible thing I saw today. Doug Ford's Tory soared a record high in poll as Merritt Styles NDP struggles. Yeah. I can't believe, Ontario's so screwed. I guess I'm in the minority. I live in Ontario and I can't stand them. I think the province is in horrible shape, but I don't know who these people are that are support. I mean, there's a lot of people that didn't vote in Ontario, so I don't think he's that popular. But I think, too, the opposition in Ontario is just so horrible and so ineffective that it's like he gets it by default. So, yeah, we're screwed in Ontario because we also voted for Carney. Not me, but a lot of people in this province. So, I don't know. I have to question my future in this province. I love Ontario, but not the way it's become in the last 10, 20 years. Also, a thing in Canada is you can't even answer your phone. I saw this today. You can't even answer your phone because it's all scammers. What if it's an important call and you just say, no, I'm not answering it, and it turns out it was a good call and you didn't answer it because of these scammers. No, now they see you don't answer the phone, so now they're sending text messages. Yes. All right. There's a Toronto Sun article front page. Immigration data shows Carney broke pledge of fewer temporary foreign workers. Yes, of course. It's going to be hard to stop the flow, the flood of migrants. It's like it's like turning around in a super tanker, oil tanker. It's very, very difficult to stop it and then to turn it around. Very, very hard. And these guys don't want to turn around, so it's horrible. Okay. Ontario, this is a T-Dot resident reacting to the poll. Like, look at this. 46% positive. Like, he's way ahead of the opposition. Doug Ford. Ontario, where people love corruption and bad governance. Yep. It's horrible. And here's another. Parliamentary budget officer says 3.2 million homes needed to close housing gap. See, this bugs me when I see this housing gap. A lot of our politicians are saying it. Doug Ford, Pierre, Mark Carney. All they talk about is housing. And like I said, they're building tons of houses. If you go down to London, Ontario, if we go down to any major city, they're building like crazy. And so the reason they're building is because they need to build houses for all the immigrants they're funneling into Canada. So when a politician starts saying about promise to build more houses, and they all do, it's like it's not helping to build all these houses, because all they're doing is bringing in more people. So I said, instead of 3.2 million homes, we need 3.2 million deportations. Yes, problem solved. Seems everybody else is saying the same thing, but that's how they do it. Even Pierre does it too. They do the conversation like we're gonna tie immigration to housing, or slow down immigration until we can build more housing. How about just not build housing and deport everybody that needs to be deported? So yeah, I'm sick of these housing accelerator projects and all these housing millions and millions of dollars going into the housing, when really all we just have to deport. Next, a new poll from Nanos Research, which shows the Liberals have a 10-point lead, which is weird because this Abacus poll, which came out the other day, showed the Conservatives had a slight lead. And it looks like we'll have to wait for a couple more polls to come out to see what's bullshit and what isn't, but I thought it was a little fishy. But if the Nanos numbers are right, Pierre's in bad trouble. I think Doug Ford's undermining Pierre from now until he can, every chance he get. So it's going to be hard for Pierre to really get some traction, but let's see. We'll see some other polls come out. That's 10-point lead. It's bad. The knives will be out for Pierre if this poll is accurate. And next, there's Carney. This is our last post of the day. It's Mark Carney and Latvia commits to extending NATO mission in Latvia for 3 years, which is right beside Russia. And this is where he said, I don't have the video, but this is where he said, like, for Ukraine, we want more sanctions on Russia, more money for Ukraine military, for weapons, to keep fighting Russia, and then security guarantees for Ukraine, which means security guarantees means basically troops, like, on the ground in Ukraine, which these guys, Carney and all these European guys, are so eager to do. They're destroying their countries, flooding their countries, turning into third world shitholes, and trying to get us into war with Russia at the same time. It doesn't make sense. Well, it makes sense if you're a globalist, but if you're like just someone in Canada who wants your country to do well and you're trying to survive and do well, then going to war with Russia and turning your country into a third world shithole doesn't make a lot of sense. So, that's where we are. So, we'll see what happens. Get Labor Day over with, and then see what kind of fireworks breaks out. So the next broadcast will be August 29th, Friday, August 29th, Labor Day weekend. Should be a fun weekend. We'll see what happens. So until then, everybody have a nice night. Stay cool.